Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast, and today's topic is this: living by a code and making it relevant. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Mika, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast. Thanks for listening. Pretty good. Now can we listen to it?
Yep. All right, so this is a further discussion of the 4 elements of living by a code, the code that I've adopted by being a part of the Men of Iron group. You can learn more about that in the show notes if you're interested. But the third component of the code is being relevant. And the first, as a review, you want to be real, raw, relevant, look at your results. So the first part, you want to be real, just tell it like it is, what's going on, be honest. The second one is getting raw, expressing your emotions on how you really feel about that situation that you just got real on and being honest with yourself about. And then the third component of it that we're talking about today is the relevancy of it. So there's twofold part of it. So it's one thing to be finally real about what your bank account's really like, your savings, your financial situation, and feeling precarious about it because it's not as secure as you like. It's another thing to feel raw emotion about how your relationships are going and if they're frustrating you or angering you or depressing you, to be able to express that fully. Or whatever dimension, whether it's your health, you're finally getting real about you're not healthy and it's scaring you, or whatever it might be in any of the domains of life. But you got to make it relevant in order for it to have any impact. And so what I mean by that is, first thing, when you're identifying an issue, whether about what you're getting real and raw about, is you have to ask the question, like, is it relevant? Meaning, is it important? Because there's things that we feel strong emotion about it, but it's just not that important. It's not important that traffic is getting in the way of you being on time for work or an appointment. It's not really important on a meal-by-meal basis if your kid's eating their green beans or not. It's important in the bigger scheme of things as far as their diet is concerned, of course. But as far as those things that come up, you have to ask, is it important? Is it relevant to my life that I spend time and energy on moving through this or working on this? So that's the first way that relevant plays into it. And the second way relevant does is it's the area of focus. So once you've determined that, yes, it's important that I work on this issue with my wife or with my kids or at my job or in my business or in my health or in my spiritual connection, whatever it might be, then it's time to focus. So last time I talked about the emotion being the fuel, about being the energy in motion for change to happen. So once you've determined that it's important, you need to focus up on where you want to go. The real part determined where you're at, right? That's a starting point. The being raw is a fuel for you to get to where you want to go, and that's what the relevant is looking at, is where is your focus need to go in order to get you out of where you're at and towards where you want to go. So if that, in specific as far as your health is concerned, you're feeling scared that the wheels could fall off in your health and you'll put your family at risk because that means you won't work, or that you'll have a health crisis and you might not be around or capable, then the real part about it is like, all right, where are you at now? How much do you weigh? What are your cholesterol levels? What is your flexibility? What's your strength? Whatever that is. And then the focus, as far as making it relevant, is where do you want to get? How much do you want to weigh? How are you going to lower those cholesterol levels? How are you going to get stronger? All those kind of things. That's the target that you're setting out in front of you. So instead of spending or spinning your wheels on expressing emotion and just unleashing it on everybody around you. You want to use that emotion to focus up and move you towards something that's going to produce a change, so that you're not just venting and spewing emotion on people. And I've seen it. It can be something that if a man hasn't expressed negative emotion, being it anger or sadness or depression, that once they do, kind of like the cork pops off the bottle and it's just spewing everywhere. And it's just like, I felt this for years and here I go. And you're just yelling and screaming. And that can be cathartic and good, but ultimately we want to get to the point of you're just feeling this and you move through it faster. But if you are somebody that's shelved it or bottled it down for a long time, know that once you start expressing, it's really important that you keep it relevant, that it's not just a venting fest, that you're expressing it to your spouse or to other people in order to be heard, in order to be understood, and in order to get support in moving forward and moving out of it, rather than it just being like a rage fest, because that doesn't serve anybody. It serves to let it go, but it doesn't serve to be stuck in it. So as far as being relevant, now's your time to look at, all right, what target am I going to set in the next day, in the next week, the next month, 90 days, whatever it is. Don't go longer than 90 days. That's too far off. To start moving towards having a better connection with your kid, having more quality time because you're not wasting time in other areas. Same thing with like date nights with your spouse. It could be buckling down and working a little harder at work or in your business or make a little more revenue, a more advancement in your job. It could be spending more time meditating or praying, however you connect to spirit because you're feeling disconnected. Where are you going? That's the relevant part. Is this important for me to spend my time and energy to move forward? Yes or no? And then relevancy as far as focus. Where am I wanting to go? What's my target? And then using that energy to take daily steps towards those things. And we can talk about daily steps and way to do self-care in that way as well later on. But that is the relevant part. So you want to be real. You want to get raw about how you feel about it because that's going to get things moving. And then being relevant and making it relevant then allows you to get to where you want to be. And then we'll talk about the next component, your results, in the next episode. So what are you getting out of this? Put it in the Facebook group. If you haven't joined already, the Dadhood Journeys in Facebook. Apply to get in. Join the discussion. Put your comments in there. Ask for help. Share your insights. If you see other dads with something that you can help them with in a supportive, non-judgmental way, help your brother out. Help your dad out because we're in this together. And together we can really support each other and just be better. Be better dads, of course, but better partners and better men. And we'll just have better lives because of it and better families because of it. So hope this is useful. Put your comments down there. Think about it. And we'll connect on the next episode. Thanks. See ya.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. You can hang out with other dads in our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for the Dadhood Journey, and apply to get in. See you there. And see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Perfect.
There you go, Dan.